So I'd like to thank you for joining me today. I'm a big fan of Book of Mormon, so I'm super excited to have you on. And so for the first part, can you please explain a little bit about yourself for those who don't know who you are?
Hi, I am Diego Enrico. I am the most recent addition to the national tour, or I guess international because we're going to Canada, tour of the Book of Mormon. Um, I play Elder Cunningham. And yeah, that's literally it. This is my first thingy, so super excited to be here.
That's awesome. And so what was the audition process like for Book of Mormon?
Well, it didn't seem super crazy for like the outside viewer. I mean, it was a pretty from my end. It was just an actors access. If people don't know what actors access, it's like LinkedIn for actors. They list a bunch of like different job postings, union, non-union work, film, TV, and stage, musicals, plays, tours, all that stuff. And I saw that they were looking for a Cunningham replacement. I submitted with my initial submission. Just on Actors Access, you have like videos of yourself singing. So I just threw some videos at them, and I got a callback, and then I got or a request to send in tapes. I sent in tapes, so those were two sides and a song, and then it was in-person auditions, and there were three different in-person things. There was like the callback for in-person, and there was a workshop where they kind of work with you, and then you go to the final callback, and that's where they've narrowed it down to about three people, I'm not sure, and they picked from there. Mine was interesting because I was in the middle of my showcase for college.
Oh,
So the day of my first in-person audition was the day of my college showcase. So I did the audition, and then I went and did my showcase. So it was fun. It was a cool time.
yeah. And so how many rounds of auditions did you end up doing?
Oh God, I guess about five then, if you count like the online ones. So there was the, you know, tapes, initial tapes, and then sides and song, and then there was the in person. And I guess workshop doesn't really count as callback. I guess workshop
Yeah.
is more like the creative team wants to actually direct you and see how you work in a room and how you take notes. And then there was the final callback. So I guess four, technically five, if you
That's
want to
great.
count
Is this a non-equity tour or is this equity?
the non-equity tour.
Non-equities. And this is the second national tour, right?
I think so.
Because I know they had the tour last year.
Well, this is the same. It's the same tour.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's the same tour. It's just a little bit of a shakeup with cast. There's about
Got it.
nine new members.
Hmm.
Um, so so yeah.
Awesome. And so, had you seen Bookham Woman before you auditioned for it, or is it just see
Yeah,
it
I mean,
before?
yeah, I'd seen it. Um, I of course had seen the bootlegs
Yeah.
that don't exist out there that I imagined in my head.
Oh yeah.
And but I got to see the actual show. Oh man, I guess in 2017 it must have been. Yeah, somewhere around then. I was in the city for like I don't know if you know about Broadway Evolved. It's like
Yeah.
yeah, Broadway Evolved.
That's great.
I was there for them. That was the first year that they had that Broadway Evolved was around.
Wow.
So whenever that first started, whenever they had their first summer intensive, that's when I first saw the show proper. Um, but I'd been a fan since the beginning of my high school, like since freshman year and stuff like that. So,
Have you met like other Elder Cunninghams, like the Broadway or?
I got to meet Cody
Oh,
briefly,
nice.
who's the current Elder Cunningham. We went to go see this show, sort of as like homework during rehearsals, just like go see what they're doing and you know just see what it's like. Watch the show as a whole, because in
Gotcha.
rehearsal everything is pretty chunked up. Especially for me, I for the first 3 days I was there, I was really I was it was me and the creative team, and Sam McClellan, Elder Price was there for a little while, but for the first couple of days it was just they were throwing a bunch of info at me, and it was all disjointed. And so they were like, "Go see the show, go see everything." And I got to meet Cody and a couple other cast members. So, but yeah, I got to chat with him for a minute, and it was super fun, super nice, super
Yeah,
super.
yeah, that's great. And so, what got you into theater?
I guess I have to give credit to my brother, as much as I don't want to. He had done theater in middle school just as like an elective,
Oh wow.
and he told me that the teacher was really cool and awesome. And it was always a competition between me and my brother of like, or at least on my side, it was a competition because he was winning for a long time. Still is. My brother's a doctor, so my brother is a doctor, and I am an actor. So for the longest time, I was just trying to compete.
Yeah.
And you know, he had done theater in middle school, and so I followed in his footsteps. He told me the teacher was awesome, and I actually did the shows and stuff like that. My first musical was The Lion King. I
Mm.
played Scar, and then I've been doing theater ever since. I really like decided to do it as a career, I guess my uh, summer into senior year of high school is where I really decided I wanted to do it and that I was going to. Um, and yeah, I loved it since I did it in middle school. But yeah, you don't really figure out that it's like what you want to do forever, or at least I didn't until I was sure that I had the confidence to say that I could. You know.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And so you said you followed in your brother's footsteps, so you kind of like followed it, and then you guys split different
Oh
paths.
yeah,
One,
totally
one
different.
went to like, oh, college for doctors, and you're like, I'm gonna play a Mormon missionary.
Exactly,
I think that's what I
exactly.
want to do. I mean,
Yeah.
Mormon missionary doctor. I mean, they're
Basically the
interchangeable.
same thing when you think
Yeah,
about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
basically. I mean, you're going places, you're helping people, so like, basically, the
Basically,
same thing.
yeah. Honestly, mine is a little bit better, obviously. A little bit more
Obviously.
important too, if you think no.
And so, what if you could play any other character in the show? What character would you play and why?
Oh man. I would love to play McKinley. I think McKinley would be so much fun. Um I just honestly any role would be fun. I can't dance very well at all. If you ever get a chance to see the show, my that whatever I do on stage did not come easy. It took a long time. We drilled that stuff in rehearsals for a while. So I'm not a huge dancer, but I would love the challenge of doing a role like McKinley and doing all that fun stuff. But yeah, yeah. When I was younger, I used to think I was a Price, and then I very quickly realized that I was not a Price.
That's good. And so, throughout the whole show, it's a very comedic show. And so, do you have any favorite lines or favorite scenes in the show, and why are they your favorite?
Um, I mean, it is always fun. Anytime I get to work with Sam McClellan, who plays Elder Price, it's just a blast. We found like a really like beautiful, I think, version of these characters, and we bounce off of each other really, really well. What you see on stage is what you'll see outside of it. Like I minus some of the that dynamic, but like we really have found a I don't know, like a nurturing version of these characters that sort of are both trying their very best. Um, I don't know. I just anything with Sam has been really, really fulfilling for me, and like getting to bounce off of somebody who has been on the tour for so long and getting to do this for so long, who is still so game to play and have as much fun as we do on stage is just like, you know, I don't know. I wasn't prepared for how much fun that would be, So it really is like any time I get to play with him is always a fucking blast.
For sure.
Sorry, I
That's
can't.
fine. I've had like some people who just like say stuff and then like I have
Yeah.
one stone around, so it's fine. I'll just put in the comments that it's PG-13. So
Great. Great. We get one then. We get
yeah,
one.
we go. Now, if you say another, then I'll have to put in the description, make it
Yeah, then you'll have
a
to,
little
yeah.
higher.
Gotcha.
But so with this being, is this your first tour?
Yeah, this is
And
my
so,
first
what
tour, yeah.
is the hardest part about being on a tour?
Eating, man. It's I mean, there's also obviously I miss my friends and family very much being on tour. But you know, you
I
find
love
time to
how
see.
eating came first, and you're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Eating is the hardest part. Oh, but I guess missing my family. That's all.
Obviously, all that is on that side, but eating is hard. No, it is. I mean,
Yeah,
there's like I can give you the very obvious and sad answer of like I miss my girlfriend, I miss my best friends, I miss I got home this week and I was like, wow, I miss having decorations that are mine
yeah,
on the wall or like my own bed sheets. But that's everybody. You assume
yeah.
that. The thing for me is like eating because you're in like sometimes you're like you're doing split weeks or you're in a new city every day or like you get in at weird times and then like you do the show and then you go back to the hotel and the only thing around you is like McDonald's or
Yeah.
like really like super greasy food that's just not going to sit well. And then the next day is a two-show day. So it's like things like that where when you're in the thick of it, like people don't think about as much, but like not being able to have groceries or like cook food or prep food is hard, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to really stay on top of like not eating total garbage every day.
And I mean, I feel like that's stuff you take for granted when you're not on a tour. You're like, oh, eating, I do that, so it's not something that's hard for me. Or, but then you get on a tour and you're like, this is rough.
Yeah, it's rough, man. It's hard. It's and like balancing all that out. You don't have a car either. Like sometimes you're in a hotel that is not walking distance from anything. So you have to Uber eat something. You have to order something. Um and financially that's hard to order something every night
Yeah,
cuz like you're spending a pretty penny doing that stuff. So it's stuff that you wouldn't exactly think about, but some things that like kept me up at night before hopping on this tour. I was like, how am I gonna get to a grocery store and buy sandwich stuff? I mean, that was what I did for the first couple of weeks is I went to like a Trader Joe's or a Walmart and I just picked up bread, ham and cheese, and I had a ham and cheese sandwich for dinner for 2 weeks. Um, and that's really not good for
yeah.
you.
So you're talking about McDonald's and you're like, yeah, that's not good for you. But I've had a
But
whole ham and cheese for 2 weeks, so
yeah, for 2 weeks. So but you learn to live with it and you learn like order your food during the day. Sometimes like just getting a buy one. A lot of times like Uber Eats and DoorDash and stuff like that has like buy one get one freeze. So that's always fun because then you can order food for lunch and then you also have dinner. Anyways, these are the life hacks for food that I've learned.
and so do you guys have like one night shows where you're at a theater for only one night, or do you guys have at least a couple days at one theater?
So far, I think we've only had one nighter. Got it. That we had like a 2 week stretch of like there was a split week, so we were in two different cities in a week, and then another one where we were in like four different cities. Um, so we don't do, we after that those 2 weeks it's really been pretty loose and nice. We've had week sits. Not to say that it's like terrible to do one night shows, but
Yeah,
it's you're like you're in a new place. You start losing track of where you are. So like you're in a weird headspace of like, oh, this is a new hotel, and I like to unpack my stuff and like put it in drawers or like at least have my things out. So when it's like a one nighter, you just don't do that.
yeah,
You live out of a suitcase.
yeah, for
Um,
sure.
but for the most part, we've been nice week sits. Um, I think we're majority of week 6. We have like a 2 week sit in Denver.
So then that's good because then that'll give you some time to actually go to a store and get the goods that you
Yeah,
like need.
yeah, exactly. Get some better ingredients for a sandwich.
Yeah. Because I've talked to some people who are doing like the bus tours, and so it's like a lot of one night, one night,
Oh
one night.
yeah,
And for them, it's hard too because you're basically only eating out because you don't have time to go to the store. So it's nice that you actually have
yeah.
some time. And so what advice would you give to y your younger self if you could go back in time and give advice to young Diego?
I would tell him to listen to more musicals. I'd like. I came into this world really like not knowing a lot about musical theater. Um, my first musical was Lion King in the 8th grade. I didn't do theater until 8th grade. Um, and I didn't have the reverence for theater that I think I do now, and the respect, and even now I don't know a lot um, of just the lore and what surrounds this art form. I think which I think is incredibly necessary to keep yourself going in an industry like this, is to find the love um, everywhere, like the care that it goes into these musicals, and like knowing what people are talking about when they reference these. Like
Yeah.
I didn't know what Funny Girl was when I
Oh,
came to college. I didn't know what. I hadn't ever listened to Phantom. I haven't seen Wicked. I don't know a lot of things. So it's like I would tell my younger self, just actually love what you're doing. Like, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like if you like doing it so much, find the respect of it outside of just like, I'm gonna get on a stage for my high school production and I'm gonna do a song and I'm gonna be the funny guy and do whatever, and like it's gonna work out. Um, when like I don't know, it's very pompous to do something like that, and so I just wish that I could have learned that earlier, to like respect the medium much more, and really like listen to these shows that are so important to what makes musical theater, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And so that wraps up my questions, but now we're gonna get to some of your fan sent them questions.
Um,
And so this one comes from Echo dot dot.
okay.
What is his favorite thing about performing on tour?
I mean, I'm playing my dream role. This is like this is dream role number one. Um, and to get to do this out of the gate, I graduated in May from college, so like I really like am so blessed to get to do Elder Cunningham 8 shows a week all over the world. We just played Orlando,
Yeah.
which is awesome. Doing this show in Orlando is incredible. Um,
And that's Orlando, Kentucky, right? Like,
yeah, Orlando, Kentucky. Yeah, 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 yeah. They
yeah.
love it. That would still be really fun to do this show in Orlando, Kentucky. I think it would be even more fun to do it in Orlando, Kentucky.
You get an email from like the manager be like, "Oh, hey guys, just so you know, we're going to Orlando." Everyone's so excited, and you're like, "Oh, not Orlando, Florida. No, no, that's too much like the show. We're going to Orlando, Kentucky. We're playing you
Yeah,
only Farmland, and you're performing in a wooden barn."
exactly. And it's gonna be awesome.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I love getting to do this character all over the place, and like and getting to meet new people, and like every new venue we go to. I love my dressers. Shout out Kim. Shout out everybody. My most recent dressers, Kim and oh my god, and Terry. They killed it this week in Orlando. Um, yeah, it's these locals are so sweet. And they
so
take
it's local
really good
people
care of us.
then. So it's not like people that
Yeah,
tour. Oh, awesome.
we have our department heads, so we have
Yeah.
like costumes and wigs and
Do you
all of
wear a
that.
wig or no?
Oh no, I get to keep my
I was
hair
gonna say your hair is very similar to how Josh Gad's was in the original.
fully. Yeah, I don't have to do. I do my regular hair routine, and I show up to the theater
Yeah.
and put a mic in, and I put on the costume.
And when you say costume, it's basically just a t-shirt and a tie
Yeah,
for the
yeah, it's
most
the
part.
pants. We have the Leduca shoes. Those are nice. Shout out Leduca. Yeah, that's all I can say about the costume on record. There's other things that I
Yeah, for
am
sure.
not able to dive into because they're like spoilers or something.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
don't know.
And so this one comes from Avospec. I'm probably butchering that
Oh
name.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But how did you come up with your interpretation of Cunningham? It feels so fresh, but still similar.
God, it took a lot of work. Um, it took like really diving into what I love about what Josh Gad does and like the things that like fit into my body in a different way. Because this I got like sort of a similar question. We had a talk back after a show in Orlando where the way I view it is like with a character that is played by such an iconic person, and this is such an iconic character. Like
Mm,
Josh Gad originated this role, and like a lot of what he has done has survived through the years, and what
sure.
he brought to the character has been the standard for it. But his body is his body, his voice is his
Mhm.
voice, his personality is his personality. So things fit differently on other people, So it's really about for me finding what fits in my body and voice and personality and what feels natural. Um I really like I hit the books for this character. My like my girlfriend coached me on everything. She stayed up so late with me reading these sides for the callbacks and everything, and she is the reason I am doing this today. Um, and she, she saw me do it the first couple times. She was like, "You have to do what you are naturally going to do. You can't just pick whatever bit Josh Gad did and then just throw that
Yeah,
on a wall, because it's not going to work. It's not going to feel natural. It's not going to feel right. You have to be yourself, And so, especially for a role like this that does feel so near and dear to me and that spoke to me personally, I think everyone has a role out there like that where there's a character that really resonates with them, that speaks to them, um, that fits in their frame and in their voice in a totally different way and in a natural way. And the secret is to bring that natural feeling out, and to really trust yourself. Trust that you. It's about putting yourself into this character's
yeah, for
shoes.
sure.
So I don't know. I rambled a little, but
Okay. And so this one comes from Denek. Once again, butchering those names.
it's all right.
Pick an easier username if you want it pronounced right. I don't know what to tell you. Not my fault. But they asked, how did you feel when you got casted as Elder Cunningham?
Oh man, I was over the moon. It was really surreal. For a long time, I really it didn't exactly compute for a minute. Until I was in Chicago, it was opening night and I was doing it. Um,
Oh, so the two open in Chicago then.
for me, yeah, for me, it
Yeah,
opened in Chicago. Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Yeah, it was a crazy experience. I mean, I don't know. When I got the call, I was I was in my underwear, sitting on my couch, doing nothing, um,
So I guess
waiting.
then you're like, well, then I guess I gotta like get up and do stuff now. So
Yeah, I was like, well, I got the call and they were like, we would like to blah blah blah. We would like to offer you blah blah blah, and I was like, yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Um, and everyone that I called was busy. so so I just was like, I didn't know where to put the energy, and I just was kind of just sitting there staring at my phone, staring at my email, and it was a really crazy feeling.
sure.
And yeah, it still kind of doesn't even feel real. It still feels like someone's paying me to be goofy guy. Still, I, you know.
And so this one comes this was an actual good username. Hope dot Blanton. So
Okay.
pretty
Yeah, yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to college students wanting to do what you do? And I guess this could also lead into a question of what do you give to young actors who want to do what you do?
I feel like this is such a generic answer, and that, you know, it's so like, oh yeah, everybody tells me that, but it is really so true. Is to like just be yourself. Be like so many people try to do what other people do and they don't find their own voice. And I'm still working on that. You know, I'm still trying to I'm still there are so many things that I do that emulate other people. Even in this show, I'm still emulating Josh Gad in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But what I try my very best to do is to not fake it.
Hmm.
It comes from a place of honesty, from a place of of joy. Um, and you know, I would tell everyone to approach every character as though they they are that person. You know, where do these lines fit in within your body? Where do these songs, where does the voice sit in you? Rather than let me listen to a cast recording and copy what the cast recording is doing or anything, because you will have so much more mileage in that way. And I wish I had learned that sooner, that you will love it so much more when you realize that there is a freedom within this, um, within everyone you can find, you know, and and also listen to musicals. Listen to anything you can. You can listen to a musical a day. Um, it is so important to know these things, to know who is writing what, who is um, where things come from, references. You will just have more fun watching theater doing that, and doing theater. You'll understand much more. And also be nice. Be nice, be nice, be nice. And not fake nice. Don't be fake nice, be actually nice. Love people. Always love people. People are important and people love you, and you should always love.
That's
Yeah,
good. That's
period.
good advice. And
Period.
so it's so Zoom's telling me that I have 10 minutes left before it kicks us out. And so instead of doing three songs like I originally planned, we're gonna do one song so that Zoom doesn't kick us out.
Okay.
So pick a number 1 through 10.
7.
Alrighty. Oh, this should be a simple one for you. If not, the yeah.
Let's hear it.
Makes my eyes kind of blur.
Oh. Oh no, you have me on the spot now. It's baptize me. It makes my heart kind of flutter. It makes my eyes kind of blur. I can't believe I'm about to baptize her. I just listen, man. I'm on my time off. All right.
You're like, I'm not working on memorizing my lines right now. I forgot them for the time
Yeah,
being.
I've forgotten them for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. And so since I was a little quick, we'll do another one quickly. Let's do this is one that you and Elder Price sing, but we're gonna do Elder. You're gonna guess Elder Price's line to see how much you pay attention during
Got it.
you and me, but mostly me.
Awesome.
Alrighty, so let's do something incredible. I'll do something incredible.
That blows God's frickin' mind.
Nope.
No, wait, something incredible. I'll do something incredible. I'm gonna be the Mormon who changed all of mankind.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. Oh, that's a spoiler. I can't say that. But you can
We'll
bleep
bleep
that
it
out.
out. We'll bleep it out.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to thank you for joining me today.